You know, I was going to do a video on the Switch 2, but there's not really much I can say that hasn't already been said. Like, I bought the Switch, or we bought the Wii, the first Wii, and the Wii, to its credit, was interesting. It was a good product. Oh, and there were like games we bought, like Phantom Brave, Sonic Colors. Played the hell out of Phantom Brave, but obviously you played Wii Sports with it. But I'm looking at the Switch 2, and I'm wondering what games are coming out because, oh god, it just happens every time I talk. I have the hiccups because I have the Switch and I got Pokemon on it, Bayonetta 3, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and Sword and Shield, Pokemon Arceus, which was a good game. But I'm looking at the new lineup of games for Nintendo, and I don't know. It's not really looking too stacked. Like, so they're increasing the price, and and I guess in this they'll justify it, the price hike. But again, what people want are exclusives, and for a while I was defending the Nintendo Switch. But now I'm at a point where, I mean, if consoles are going to keep rising in price, it's like at this point, like you might as well just get a PC. Even if you only game once a week, it will just end up being a better product on the long term. Like, yeah, in the short term, it will cost quite a bit. But in the long term, I mean, you gain access to the biggest gaming library of all the platforms. Games that are exclusives for like a year will eventually come out on PC anyway. I mean, I heard the new FromSoft title, Dusk Bloods, I think it's called, is going to be a Switch exclusive, which is one thing. But you have emulators, you can pirate games, which you shouldn't. Pirating is bad, wink wink. But here's a Nintendo present on the Switch 2. And obviously everyone, like, tariffs is going to be the next big thing they use to justify the price hike. And to an extent, it works. It'll be true, but again, you have to really look at the how much things are going to cost because they'll use anything to justify making you pay more. Even if tariffs is a justifiable thing, right? Again, you have to look at the price per value proposition. What is the value the Switch 2 going to give you? So let's give it a watch, shall we?
A lot of excitement about this one. I do want to talk a little bit about just kind of the life cycle of these consoles. It's been 8 years since the Switch came. The Switch came off of a kind of disappointing console, the Wii U, which came off of. We know how the cycle has been going.
Oh, they brought the fucking Wii U. Yeah, we didn't get the Wii U because at the time, I mean, it was Xbox 360 was absolutely smacking. I mean, a lot of people. I think it was the 360 that was still going hard, and the PlayStation 3. But yeah, there are a lot of unsavory customers with the Wii U.
I guess the question now is, with the Switch 2, how do you avoid that trap again? What makes the Switch 2 a worthwhile upgrade so you don't kind of fall into that Wii U moment again?
Yeah, I think of a lot of it is happening behind us right now. And really for us, it's about creating that next generation of gaming platforms for us and doing it in a way that really enhances the overall gameplay for consumers. And with Switch 2, we've taken the things that you know and love about Nintendo Switch, but then added very powerful gameplay features and social features. So
what social features? Like, do not fucking tell me they added literally like a party chat or like a Discord, and they're going to use that as one of the justifications for the price hike. Because then I'll be mad.
It's that understanding of your past and your legacy and what worked well, and then how can you supplement that with improved features, improved interaction to create what we've created today, which is Switch 2.
Part of that's under the hood, and I know you've partnered with NVIDIA on that. Can you just talk a little bit about the improvements we're going to...
Okay, so 40K, 4K, PC has all of this, custom NVIDIA processor, okay, that's fine. 256 gigabyte internal hard drive, yeah, I could see this being a good thing, but I'm just looking at all these other things. Finally, 60 FPS on TV, up to 220 FPS on handheld. I mean, this is good and all, but if the games themselves aren't set up to run these specs, like, if the game is capped at 30 FPS, and we know this was Bloodborne, you can't just whip 60, 120 out your ass, right? Like fucking techno magic. So, I don't, like, see, and will, like, Mario Party or Super Smash Bros. Or Zelda run at 60 FPS? Okay, maybe. But you gotta really look at the games. Or will it start out at 30, then they have a 60 FPS update down the road? I mean, these two things, I can justify a little bit of a price hike. But a big price hike, like, a lot of people buy Nintendo Switch specifically for exclusives, right? Like, PlayStation's trying to do this thing where it's just pumping stats into a PlayStation, but then you realize it's still just a PlayStation, and if the games itself don't run those stats, like, you're kind of boned. But they still use it as a justification to raise the price. I'm wondering if Switch 2 is going to try to do the same thing. I mean, because it works, right? People will absolutely buy the justification. In some cases, they should. Exactly like if games actually run these specs.
I see for these gameplay on a technical level, what can you achieve now as a developer on the Switch 2 that you maybe couldn't have done on the Switch 1?
Yeah, so there's a few features that I'll call out. First of all, the new and improved Joy-Con, really redesigned from the ground up.
Yeah,
and the Joy-Con
really
2, which are the controllers that you have either when it's on the device or when you disconnect, when you're in a docking mode. We've designed from the ground up the control sticks. We've increased the size of the shoulder buttons. We've improved the overall feedback and rumble that you feel when you're playing the game. So that's just one example.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, the Joy-Cons of the older one was okay.
CPU and GPU standpoint, we've greatly improved that capability and capacity, which is now allowing developers to really bring deeper and richer content to the platform.
Price is a big issue here. Everyone's talking about it. It's $150 more than the original Switch was. Can you talk a little bit about why?
I mean, this still is a reasonable price. Like, think of it this way, right? The new PlayStation is going to be $700 fucking dollars for just the console itself, right? This is effectively the console and the remote and has all the things wrapped into one. And, I mean, it's a bit of a hike from, like, $300, but, I mean, this is reasonable. And again, that'll depend on exclusive, that'll depend on if games actually can run the stats, that'll depend on the games themselves. I mean, there's a lot riding on this. I mean, it's a bigger screen, it clearly has better hardware.
More than the original Switch was. Can you talk a little bit about why we're seeing such a big price increase versus the previous generation?
So I think it boils down to a couple of things. First of all, the hardware unit itself, which has a lot of improved features, from some of the things I talked about earlier with the Joy-Con 2, also to the LCD screen that is much larger and much deeper and richer. And then there's the CPU and GPU processing power that allows for much deeper game development, and I think an ability to bring even more developers onto the platform. And then laid on top of that is the social features that we haven't talked about, but Game Chat is this unique feature.
So a feature that existed in Xbox 360 is the new feature. So they effectively have like what, a Discord that they added in. I mean, don't get me wrong, Game Chat is good, but does this justify the price increase? Maybe, sure. Feature that we already have.
That lays on top of any game that you play. With the push of one button, seamlessly you can connect with your friends, you can chat with them via audio, or with 4 of them, you can have them on a video camera and have this opportunity to interact and talk about the games you're playing.
Now we're sitting here on April 2nd. It just so happens, as we're recording this, the President of the United States right now is announcing his tariffs. You and so many other executives are pulling their hair out, trying to figure out, how do I price my products? How did that come into play as you're deciding how to price the Switch 2 here in the United States?
Yeah. As we price the Switch 2, the price we announced today of $449 for the single SKU, we didn't consider tariffs into that equation. We felt that that was going to be the right price point for our consumers and the right value proposition, if you will, for the device that we're creating. A lot of news today. We're still all trying to really understand it better and understand what possible impacts, may rise from that. But nothing I can really add to, today's discussion around pricing.
Yeah, like we don't know what will come up in the future with all this. I mean, again, tariffs is going to be the next thing that is used to justify the price hike in many products. And in some cases it makes sense, in others it's like, well, okay, I get like a bit of a price hike from like, foreign products, but too big? I mean, who knows? And again, are you going to want to pay around $500 for a console, like, for kids? Because I feel like that's the type of games and the type of audience that Nintendo's trying to cultivate, is that younger audience. Like, I mean, kids is kind of like maybe 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17-year-olds. But, I mean, all they showed here were the adults. And I guess for old time, Nintendo people, they're going to buy it, but pre-order for Nintendo Switch in the U.S. will not start until April 9th, and all the rest has the potential impact tabs involving market conditions. So update timing at a later date. The launch date is June 5th, 2025 is unchanged.
And typically consoles lose money, but you make them up, not on the hardware, but you make it up on the software. Is that kind of the idea with this as well?
Well, I would say that we all are trying to find a way to maintain, if you will, margins on the hardware, even though they may be more slim than they are on software. But yeah, the whole proposition, really, the value add proposition here is, once you install the hardware, we want to keep consumers engaged. We want to make sure that they're seeing the value in their investment in one of our devices. So we're ensuring that we always have gameplay experiences and a regular cadence of gameplay experiences that allows them to come in, purchase, try, play a game, purchase the next game, and really stay engaged with the device over time. And that's
I mean, you gotta, again, have exclusives, have games that actually run these. Like, I'm looking at the new Pokemon game, and is that a justification for this to get a Switch 2? No. Personally, I just don't think the new Pokemon game's really that good. And exclusives like that are the reason people stick with consoles, right? I mean, maybe the new Zelda game or the new FromSoft Dusk Bloods, maybe, but that's really what like exclusives is what held the value proposition of older consoles and still hold the value to this day. But if there's not many exclusives, or if the exclusives will eventually hit other consoles eventually, I mean, you just sort of lose that. So I feel like that's sort of the thing he should be kind of harping on, because that's what the consumer cares about, really, is, okay, exclusives. You know, the hardware and the software is fine, right? You know, playing all these, like, Wii-type games here are fine, but, you know, people want to know what is going to increase the value in the future, and exclusives are one of those things, like maybe a new Zelda game, right? People want a justification for paying more on the console, and it's no more than the PlayStation or Xbox, but it's still more, right? It's still increasing the price, and people want that to be justified.
That's part of the success we had with Nintendo Switch.
I think that's one thing people miss out a lot is the value you get out of games. You might go to the movies, pay $30 or whatever for one outing at the movies, but that's a 2-hour experience, whereas this, hundreds of hours, right? For paying it.
Absolutely, and if we use Nintendo Switch as an example, we've installed over 150 million units of Nintendo Switch over its lifetime worldwide. Last year, 129 million of those devices were still active. So that's really what's important. We want to make sure consumers see that value, and that we're always providing them with new gameplay experiences and other experiences that'll keep them engaged on the platform.
Now, let's talk.
And that's all okay, but people want to know what new games are coming out, right? Because the point of a console is to play games. You know, not just look good or run good, not what the PlayStation is trying to be, like the iPhone of the console, right? You know, people want, like, okay, so what new products, what new games are going to come out, right, that justify the price? You know, that's where the value proposition is. I mean, I'm looking at all, like, these are probably pre-installed games that will be on the Switch too, but, I mean, what big titles are coming out?
Talk about the games.
Yeah.
Behind us, we have the new Mario Kart World game going on. Now, I know you're bundling that with the console as a digital download, that it's a $50 add-on, but if you buy the game itself, this got a lot of attention. I don't know if you've seen. $80, that's a lot for a game. I know it's typically not what Nintendo charges. And then we look at the Donkey Kong game that's coming out about a month later, it's $70. Can you talk?
Yeah, $80 is too fucking much money. It is way too much for the game. And he'll try to justify it, but this is why new games need to just follow the trend. Like, $70 for games coming out nowadays, if you take the value, is too fucking much, right? Because you have $70 games that give you $40 games experiences, but then you have games like Helldivers, which gives you just like $40 something, which gives you the experience. Like, you get your money back and then some. Like, I still play that game. So, it's too fucking... And you can use whatever logic to try to justify the $70, $80 fucking dollars, but, I mean, that's not going to give you my... Like, you're not going to logic the money out of my wallet, right? Yeah, it doesn't really work that way, and this is a lot of money. Like, this is like $500 plus the game, these exclusives.
Talk a little bit about how the gaming pricing strategy is $80 kind of the benchmark for a AAA game from Nintendo. What should we be expecting in the Switch 2 generation as far as how much we're going to be spending on these games?
Yeah, I would say that we're not really looking to establish a benchmark for pricing. We look at every game and every experience and determine what we believe is the right price point based on that experience.
But that's not what, like, the consumer is going to have whatever experience they want depending on the game, right? You can't be like, oh, according to our subjective metric, this game will be $90, or our subjective business metric, this game's going to be $100. That's not how the consumer sees it, right? I mean, you're already squeezing $60, $70, like trying to squeeze 80, and some people saying, I don't believe it, that the new GTA 6 is going to be $100, right? You can use whatever metric of logic you want, but you're not getting $100 out of me for an inferior game. I mean, GTA 5 will clearly just be superior. People are going to play it out of maybe curiosity, but $100 right? $80 Sorry, man, it just won't work on me.
You've had a chance to play Mario Kart World and see how deeply immersive it is and how fun it is. And we haven't shown everything yet. We still have a Mario Kart World Direct that'll be coming that'll show even the deeper feature set. So we believe, based on the depth and breadth of the play and the repeatability of the play over time, the pricing that we announced is the right pricing.
But every game has that. You can repeatedly play every single fucking game you have. Like, you can play Fallout New Vegas 7 times in 7 completely different ways. But what, should it be 7 times the price? Like, everyone and their fucking grandmother would be like, no. Right? People are going to grab whatever experience. Like, what you do is you have the medium price of entry and let everyone else, work from there. Don't be like, oh, we believe this game will give you $90 worth of an experience, so it should be $90. Like, no, like, the people buy it, sure, but is that really the logic we should be operating off of?
Again, other games like you mentioned, Donkey Kong Bonanza, it's going to be at a $70 price point because that is what we feel is the right price point for that particular gaming experience.
So there's no standard price, basically.
There's no standard price.
What about for third-party titles? Is that kind of up to the developer?
That's exactly right. It's really their choice based, again, on the type of gameplay experience that they're bringing.
Let's talk about the supply. Really interesting pre-order mechanism you got going on, at least through if we buy from you directly.
That's right.
And I thought this was interesting. It seems to be an anti-scalper move, if I'm reading it correctly, where you have to have a Nintendo account. You're going to look at how many hours I play before you determine if I'm worthy of buying a Switch 2. Are people going to be able to go out and buy it on day one?
So you're going to see, first of all, you're speaking to our own pre-order program that we have through My Nintendo or through Nintendo.com. And our motivation there with the number of hours played was really to reward our most loyal players and to give them a chance to queue up first and have an opportunity to purchase the product. Tomorrow we're going to be meeting with our retail partners, and our retail partners will have their own pre-order programs. So our goal is to meet the demand that's going to be out there for Nintendo Switch 2.
Do you think you can?
Well, it remains to be seen. Yeah. That certainly is our goal.
It's not going to be a Wii 1.
So rewarding people that played more, I mean, I don't particularly have a problem with that. But again, with that big of a price hike, even people that are interested is going to see an $80 game and be like, nah. And again, I'll just wait until it's half off. I don't know. Half a year down the road.
Situation where
we certainly
years of supply constraints, or the PlayStation 5 years of supply constraints. No COVID to deal with now, so
that's correct.
Good.
That's correct, and we've had some time to build up inventories on a global basis.
Okay.
So we really do hope we can meet that.
So these are ready
today.
to ship. They're ready to go.
They're even landed already, and some in the United States. Yes.
Oh wow! So now people are going to go hunting for warehouses, I think, for these things. I want to talk about safety, kid safety. When I saw you introduce game chat in the direct today, the first thing I thought, oh my god, this is going to be a nightmare for parents and kids. Like, Nintendo usually doesn't do these kind of features by design. And then you said parental controls are going to be part of it. Can you talk a little bit about how you guys thought through game chat to make sure it is safe for kids? Because we're seeing on mobile games, on tablet games, We're seeing huge issues with this right now. Parents are concerned about safety online games. What is the process with game chat? How you guys thought about that?
It is so fucking easy, at least on like a laptop or PC, to spy on your kids, right? Like there's literally an app where you can just whatever's projected on your child's laptop, you can see on your phone. Literal like spyware. I mean, this idea that kids just they're just on the phone and on the PC and you don't know what you're doing. Like, it's just laziness, and demanding every other console and company has to effectively play the role of the parent is dumb. Just an excuse for lazy parents to just be lazy, right?
Yeah, well, first of all, for us as an industry, safety, player safety is critically important, in particular child safety. And so it's a really important issue that we're addressing at the industry level, whether that's through the ESA or whether that's through the ESRB. When it comes specific to Nintendo, there's a couple layers that we can implement. So first of all, with Game Chat, when you choose Game Chat, you're only choosing from a list of your friends. So you're not going online to a wide open...
No strangers.
That's right. It is your friends and it's your friend list and those people that you've invited into.
Wow, I'm looking at that. That looks extremely laggy. Like, whoa. Okay, yeah. Like, that looks fucked.
Friends and it's your friend list and those people that you've invited into your gaming environment.
Okay, well, that looks
Second,
better on
for
TV.
kids 15 and under, we're putting on top of that the parental control app, where parents, not on the device, but via a separate app on their mobile phone, can actually be a part of their kids' gaming experience. And they have the ability, beyond who the kids can chat with and play with, they have the ability to control the amount of time kids can play, whether they can purchase products from the eShop, what types of titles or what types of games they can play. And
Yeah, see, that's a good thing, right? Like, I mean, under no circumstances should, like, you have your card attached to the account, right? Like, every time they make a purchase, you should have to manually put in the information for your fucking card every single fucking time. And I don't care with convenience with this, because the convenience is used as a reason to just make some kid spend hundreds of their parents' dollars on fucking Robux. Like, that should just be a feature that, if you're underage, like, you have to manually put it in every single goddamn time.
yes, very importantly, for kids 15 and under, they also have to be a part of the decision to even use Game Chat, and they have to activate Game Chat from the app that's on the parent's phone. So we feel we've got a number of layers of security that ensure the safety of children.
Yeah, to be fair, like, all these things are good, especially if, again, you have underage kids playing this console, which, again, is the point of these games. Like, you have all these grown-ass people playing, this bald dude playing, but, again, at the end of the day, these... And this is why I don't understand the price, because it's like $400 and something price hike, a $70, $80 game. Who do you think is going to purchase that and play it? Like, I remember having to store up fucking money working at a goddamn restaurant to just scratch enough money to buy a $60 game when I was like 16, 17. And even then, it was like, oh, well, that's a lot of fucking money. Like, $80 goddamn dollars?
Play.
Talk about the age verification process here, because that's another issue with kids and games. We're seeing it happen right now on the mobile app stores. There's some laws being passed. How do you guys do age verification?
Age verification is done via the parents as they sign up their children's account. So we really...
And again, these are all like, yeah, this is an issue, but if you're trying to sell the product to, again, the demographic that you think would buy 60, 70, $80 games. I mean,
really do. We encourage parents to be a part of their kids' gaming. Maybe they don't want to play with their kids. We encourage that too, and we try to make our, our games approachable so they can do that. But we really do want parents to be a part of their children's gaming process. So as they're setting up the Nintendo account, we want them to be a part of that overall. But
yeah, and it's weird because it's being marketed at the price range for adults, but the experience for kids, like, and they're acting like they're the only means of entertainment and consoles that they can play. Like, it's just weird.
There isn't a verification process per se where we would identify an ID or anything else. It's really done more by the parent.
Okay, the parents have to set it up. Okay. I want to zoom out from the Switch 2 just a little bit and talk about Nintendo as a whole.
Yeah.
Some really interesting stuff has been coming out. We just a couple days ago, you announced the Legend of Zelda live-action movie. With my parent company, you guys developed the Super Mario movie, Super Mario World at Universal Studios. We're also seeing new apps come out, like the music app. Some new gadgets come out, like Alarmo.
Yep.
Should we be thinking of Nintendo as more of a character and IP company now? Versus, are you guys trying to go after Disney here? Or strict gaming? How do we think about that?
I think you should think of us as an entertainment company because going all the way.
No, you should be thought at as a gaming company. Like, do not go the route of Xbox of just being a broader, like, have broader entertainment be the side note. Like, gaming should be at the forefront, like, for gamers, people that play games. A demographic that will gladly give you 70, 80 fucking dollars if you give them a good experience. Like, as an entertainment company, 60, 70, $80 just don't fucking cut it. Because there are other forms of entertainment out there. As a gaming company, yeah, and gamers aren't really known for making sound purchasing decisions, right? So I think it's just that's not what your focus should be, in my humble opinion. My humble, I don't work for Nintendo. I don't have stocks in Nintendo. I am in no way, shape, or form anyone you should get any of your advice or listen to. But so many, like, again, I'm just looking at what happened to the Xbox, just trying to be an entertainment company. And because of that, PlayStation is now selling you a $750 fucking console, right? Because they're the only ones in that market anymore.
Back to our origins, in 1889, we were all about entertainment. We started as a manufacturer of playing cards, Hanafuda playing cards. And
and you started at that, but what demographic got you to where you are now, right? Made you as popular and put you in a position to compete with, like, Xbox and PlayStation, right? The gamers did. That word that companies are afraid to use now, gamers? Yeah, they're the ones who put you into the position where you're all right now. So they're the targeted demographic you should be catered, because you're not going to refer to a child as, a consumer, right? That's weird. Like, consumer holds a sort of, like, air of cold calculation, right? You're going to call them gamers. It's just so weird.
Through our history, we've had various iterations of gameplay, whether that's toys, whether that's bowling alleys, a whole host of things. Now, today, absolutely, video games is at the core of our entertainment experiences, but we've also learned that these characters and these worlds have the ability to step beyond just a video game environment.
But that's not what you should be trying to do. I mean, no, that's a lie. You should be trying to do that, But the core audience, what brought you to where you are, was gaming, being a gaming console to play games. So, and again, this is, I guess, his interpretation of reaching the wider audience, but that's just not what you're supposed to be trying to do. I mean, will you be successful at? I don't fucking know. I can only speculate. But again, it's odd how all these companies are just stepping away from their core audience and their core, what brought them to where they are. Just try reaching out. It's like, okay, sometimes it'll work, maybe, who knows? But sometimes you get into the Xbox situation where people just don't fucking care for it anymore.
So the examples you provided, such as movies, are a wonderful example of that. In the end, our mission is to create smiles. Very simple, very straightforward. The strategy that we utilize to go about doing that is to increase the number of touch points that consumers can have with our characters in worlds. So movies, theme parks, other out-of-video game experiences continue to create those touch points, and thereby the affinity, if you will, for our characters in games. And if people then want to come into our gaming ecosystem and be a part of that, we welcome it.
Well, but again, it's the gamers reaching out to everything else, right? All the theme parks and all this is to supplement the gaming experience, because that's what got Nintendo to where it's at, to compete. Like, this is all should be to offset the price. This is why you sell merchandise in these theme parks. Like, if you have all this and it's successful, there's no goddamn reason why the games need to be $70, $80. Because this right here would offset that price. But what we see is, above all of this, they're still making it 80, 90, and still increasing the price of the Switch. And I guess in some sense it's to remain somewhat competitive, right? But again, you have all of this, and if it's selling, you shouldn't have to worry about, putting games at a higher price. Like, hell, games should be worth less now that you're not having to spend on the supply chain of GameStop. Everything's digital, right? But I mean, I don't understand this need to grab even more money from your audience, from the gamers, people that got you to this place. Because if this is successful, right, this right here, if the physical tap is successful, you wouldn't need to do that.
Ecosystem and be a part of that, we welcome it.
So we should expect to see more movies. We should expect to see more physical attractions.
I think the trends you've seen will continue. Obviously, we just announced when the Legend of Zelda movie will be released. We've already announced that next March, the Super Mario Bros. 2 movie will be released. On May the 22nd, we'll be opening Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios at the new Epic Universe that they're building. So there's a lot of this that'll be coming over the years to come.
And if you had to fan cast right now, who's playing Link and Zelda in the movie?
Oh boy, I don't even want to go there.
Yeah, I don't think you can yet.
You guys dabbled in it for several years there. I was actually at the Apple event where Miyamoto came out and showed Super Mario Run, and everyone's like, oh, they finally did it. Several years later, it's kind of died off, I feel like, a little bit, the mobile gaming. What's going on there? Do you still see value in mobile? I know you have mobile apps for controlling your account and things like that, but it seems like the gaming side has taken a back seat. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I think you touched on an important point when you mentioned the mobile apps. First of all, going back to that strategy I talked about, which is increasing the number of touch points consumers have with our characters in our worlds. We do view mobile, and whether it's games and or applications, as one way that we can do that. And we still have active mobile games across a number of franchises out there. But we're also learning that people want to engage with us in different ways. So we just a couple days ago released Nintendo Today, which is an app on your phone that allows you to just, it's your hub of everything Nintendo, and gives you that chance to learn about upcoming announcements, in-game features that may be coming, and you can program it in a way that it talks about your favorite franchises to you. The music app is another one that you just mentioned.
Why would people, like, is the music app, do you have to pay money to get this? Like, why would you have this instead of just, I don't know, going to YouTube or like Spotify? I mean, is this for like the soundtracks of the games? I mean, it's fine, but I mean, all this isn't bad, but is a child going to have this very fucking phone and be using these things? Hey, nowadays there probably are 12-year-olds with phones like this worth more than hell they probably are at that age. Is it adults going to do this? Well, probably not, because adults have other ways. I guess this is fine. I'm not like shitting on it, but I guess if it's free, why the fuck not? But
that is a part of our Nintendo Switch Online application. And so we're looking at not just games, mobile games, as one avenue, if you will, of connecting with consumers, but other ways through other applications.
So should we start looking at the Nintendo subscription as kind of like your version of Amazon Prime? I know like the music is kind of included in that. Some of that, is that kind of the strategy you're going for?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a direct comparison, but the way I think about it is Nintendo Switch Online or Nintendo Switch Online plus Expansion Pass really is all about giving consumers connection to other parts of our IP and of our gaming catalog. So for instance, Nintendo Classics. You have the ability to go back and play games from your favorite platforms, maybe the ones you started on, whether it's NES or SNES.
Yeah, see, that's a good thing, right? Being able to play older, like, titles just to expand the library. Like, that's, like, this is why, I mean, I shit on Xbox and Microsoft, but the Game Pass is a good product. I mean, they keep hiking the price up all the fucking time, but the product is okay. It's just how they're treating Xbox and their consumers is garbage.
Yeah, we just announced GameCube and there's other platforms that we brought games back on. So it's an avenue into those games. We've also announced that with the launch of Nintendo Switch 2, we're going to be taking some of the most popular games that were on Nintendo Switch, like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and offering Nintendo Switch 2 editions, so abilities to up-res the gameplay, to have more features available, and those will be given for free through the Nintendo Switch Online plus Expansion Pass subscription. Music's another great example. So we are looking for ways to engage our consumers through that subscription model in a lot of different ways.
Not just games.
Not just games, exactly.
Finally, we got to talk about artificial intelligence. I know Nintendo's not an AI company. I don't think they're going to launch a chatbot to compete with OpenAI anytime soon. But at the same time, we've already started to see some gaming companies dabble in it. Just a few weeks ago, Roblox had their own AI model for 3D game generation. Electronic Arts is thinking about it. We're starting to see some dabbling there. How's Nintendo thinking about it? Do you see it speeding up game development, for example? Do you see more creative tools? Like, I'm thinking like a Super Mario Maker type of situation.
Nah, I think this is just a non-issue thing that's brought up. I mean, if AI makes a better product, sure, like, go for it. I don't like, but Nintendo wants to be like, no. I mean, like, I think Nintendo's in the best position to be like, yeah, we don't really much care for all AI. Like, maybe it'll be used to lower the workload of the people that are already working, so they're not doing fucking 70-hour crunches, but other than that, I mean, our games can stand on their own 2 feet when it comes to, the very minimal yet effective play style that the games have.
And how are you guys thinking about injecting AI into your games?
Yeah. I'm always a little careful not to speak on behalf of the developers. I want them to talk about their art and what we do. But if we think about just technology in general to start with, as we look at technology, we always want to make sure the technology we may be leveraging, whether it's to develop our games or whether it's in our devices, is going to create a better gameplay experience. It starts there and goes back to those smiles I was talking about generating. So that's a very important part of our decision-making process and how to use AI. Obviously, AI is very popular right now. It's being used broadly in a number of different ways. It could be used, to enhance productivity. Even within my organization, it can be used to enhance productivity and how we get things done. So there's one utilization. What I would say is if developers choose to use AI, and it is a discussion right now at Nintendo, it's not the only method of developing games. We still believe that what makes our games special is our developers, their artistic capabilities, their insight into how people play. So there's always going to be a human touch and a human engagement in how we develop and build our games.
So no bot.
Yeah, and that was a good answer. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, like, my personal opinion is if it makes a good game, go for it. But I get it's sort of a contentious point, and if it's like, well, if we don't need it, if it's not anything that gives us benefit, why would we? I mean, I guess in the future, like maybe AI will always give some level of benefit. Rather, how much or how little is depending on the implementation. But if it's not anything we really need, right? I mean, it's whatever.
Bots making the next Nintendo game.
I don't think so.
They're going to be humans making it. And the next Zelda game comes out when?
Stay tuned.
Okay. Doug Bowser, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
I mean, all in all, this is he asked decent questions. Obviously, all the questions were vetted beforehand, but I mean, it was all right. Will I buy it? Probably not. I miss Reggie. He felt like a friend who loves gaming. This guy is a stiff business guy. Yeah, he is. And I didn't like how he keeps doing this thing where he's stepping away from the very thing that brought Nintendo to the forefront. Best girl Reggie literally fought tooth and nail to make Wii Sports free. Nintendo wanted to sell it separately. We need people like him. Best girl. Him back at Nintendo. I miss Reggie. Fought for Wii Sports to be in a pack. This dude couldn't even get the digital manual pack. Consumers, not gamers. Like Reggie would have said, is a big distinction here. Exactly, and this is what I'm saying, right? I mean, always, because it might not be that big of a thing, but if you do public speaking and you do sales, like everyone knows terminology is key. Like it might not be key to you, right, as the consumer, but as the person doing the speech, there's a lot of intonations within the grammar that you use, and a lot of thought put into it. Like he again didn't even say the word gamer. Why is that? These are the type of people you're selling your games to. Damn man straight up said pulling your hair out to a bald guy. Oh, I didn't even fucking notice that. Yeah, he did. I like video game chat as revolution technology. Well, it's revolutionary to them. I'll give them that. Just the Nintendo president embracing the value and idea of his namesake. His last name is Bowser. Bring Reggie back. Reggie brought us free Wii Sports. GameCube, $199. Switch, $299. $8 for video game, $10 for a digital instruction manual for a $450 system, etc. Nintendo's getting real greedy. Yeah, they're doing the PlayStation thing where it's like, oh well, we can hike up the price here and there. Do you expect this on the news? Wow. I wish we had Reggie and Iwata still. Bowser's living up to his name. Yeah, a lot of people are saying like, yeah, bring Reggie back and talking about the price. Yeah, I'm going to create Smiles while the price for Smiles is getting very expensive, Doug. Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's priced for adults, but the games are for children. It is a very odd price point. But he lost me at consumers. He lost me too. Doug Bowser has no aura, just a soulless EA money man. I mean, he answers some of the questions relatively good. I mean, obviously not the best. Why so expensive? Bowser advertises. Yeah. The General President's treating his customers like mugs. Drop the price. Yeah, this is what everyone's saying. But anyway, I mean, will people buy it? Maybe. I mean, I think they will get sales. It's just very odd what they're trying to do. Like, even parents are going to be like, yeah, I remember when this console, like, why would I buy it at this price when I can just buy them a shitty laptop with fucking free games that I can spy on them with? Like, why would I go to a completely different, have a completely different app, pay $400 fucking dollars for a console, 89, 90 fucking dollars for a game, if I can just, do that? Like, it's such an odd decision they're making. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. Peace.